Episode 169. Yes,
Oh,
169.
oh,
One and the magic number of the Mizzle and Dub Show. Welcome, as it is officially the first. Wow. Can't believe we're already in March. Second day of March, first Saturday in March of 2024. He is Mizzle, I am Dub, so let's get to it. As before we came on the air, my co-host told us that one of our subscribers wants us to talk about one particular subject that happened tonight, or last night per se, in Glendale, Arizona, where I did used to call that a home for a year. As
yes.
Dwayne made his return, and in his promo that he cut, talked about how Phoenix, Arizona is the capital of meth and cocaine. And now said that your life has relevance. And of course, the big thing about that promo is he sent the counter, as of course back in Australia, Cody said he wanted to face Dwayne one-on-one. Barack says, no,
Yes.
how about night one of WrestleMania? It is me and Roman Reigns against you and Seth. And then The Rock officially calls Roman the Tribal Chief, which means, because Mizzle and I
And
have
he
been
acknowledged
watching
it.
yes, but all that means is, well, me and Mizzle have watched this too long. All that means is the turn's coming soon, which is going to
Oh, well,
set
yeah.
them up for SummerSlam this year.
Yeah. So what's going to
Now,
happen pretty much what I think is
now,
Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes will win. We know that. The bloodline will be barred. But I think they're going to let this run go for a while. I really think they're going to let this go for a while. I think The Rock is in it for the long. Built this up here, but what I do like is you're starting to see the cracks in Roman Reigns just a little bit because we know who the bigger star is. Yes, Roman Reigns may be the tribal chief, he may be the undisputed heavyweight champion, but who's the bigger attraction?
where's the money coming in from? But
So
I will say this. I will say this, and yes, I'm about to make one of my my references that sometimes I don't need to make, but when Dwayne called Joseph, as our Big Goose likes to say all the time, one of our loyal listeners and
he has the
subscribers.
right to call him that. He
Yeah,
has the
yes, he
right to
does.
call him that.
Yeah, yes, he does. But when Dwayne called Joseph the Tribal Chief, um, if you look at Paul Heyman's face, it looked like Paul Heyman came in his suit, like he just, like he just busted the big
I mean, come on
one,
now. Come
like
on
he was
now.
saying
The man,
Brock Lesnar's
the
name.
The man Acel freezes in Alaska. That's how good Paul Heyman is, okay? That's how Paul will sell it for sure. I mean,
Which is
we
why I'm going to say that I'm going to say this again. Being that WrestleMania 40, basically we could say a month from now, be it that WrestleMania 40 is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Paul Heyman needs to take his place in the Hall of Fame because it's in Philadelphia. Of course, South Philadelphia holds the home to the world's most famous bingo hall. And for those that are fans of this business, of course, that bingo hall was and is the ECW arena.
EC
Of
Dub,
course,
EC Dub, EC Dub.
of course, Paul. I mean, a lot of the Attitude Era that you saw originated from ECW. Um, I mean, a lot of the stars that were made in ECW eventually went to WCW and the WWF at that time, and a lot of that was because of the brilliance of Paul Heyman. Like I said, Paul Heyman
Random fucking thing, pretty much.
was basically taught of course, by Dusty Rhodes. You can see how much of a high affection he has for Dusty, because he taught him a lot of stuff, and that's how Paul Heyman became one of the greatest minds, certainly of the business, certainly in the last 30 years.
Agree.
So you have to put Paul Heyman's name with it. So I'm just saying the wise man should take his place in the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia. It's just appropriate for that to happen.
Yeah.
Now, we'll probably talk about it more this upcoming weekend, but tomorrow, being the 3rd, it really will be the true end of an iconic era in the business
Stinger.
as my guy, as you see it under my headline.
Whoa, 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 whoa. He's not just your guy. He's not just
Well,
because you were honored enough, just because you were honored enough to see him live. All right.
well,
There,
you
there
stole
was
you stole my you stole my thunder, damn you! But go ahead.
there was many a nights, damn it, that either I was on Raw and you were on Nitro, and damn it, the moment that you said Sting came out, I switched to fucking Nitro, or vice versa, one or the other. You know our days back in the day to where we was both watching at the same time, so we could both give each other the scoop. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have been doing this for a long time. Yes, yes.
But nonetheless, the legendary career of Steve Borden, of course, better known to everybody else as the man called Sting, is
It's
hanging up the
Sting.
hanging up the tights. And if you didn't watch Dynamite this past Wednesday, for all time's sake, one last time, the man came down from the Raptors as he did so frequently.
It was
That was the
bittersweet.
first time he did that since it was because obviously you think about what happened to the late great Owen Hart,
Yeah,
and immediately when that happened, Sting stopped doing it.
yeah,
But for old time's sake, to give the fans one last thrill in Huntsville, Alabama, in the hometown of the late great beautiful Bobby Eaton of the Midnight Express, Sting came down for the Raptors, and we kind of talked about in the last show, but by God, Nature Boy, we love you. You're an icon. But don't take no more bumps, Nature Boy. Please don't do it. And credit to the Young Bucks for doing the best job they could to sell it. But Nate, just
all
just
right.
just
Unc,
just be there and support your guy.
Unc, I know you're watching right now. We're getting the wrestling segment out the way right now. Just bear with us. Your nephew wanted us to talk about it, so we give the people what they want. So we're talking about a good old little bit of what happened on SmackDown and the retirement of the good old Stinger. So just bear with us, and we'll get sports is on the way. This is an open forum show. So, but sports is on the way.
But to pinpoint what Mizzle said, to which I did have the privilege. Now, don't get me wrong. The internet has been teasing us of what may take place next year in 2025. About no, no. Okay, the one thing we will not do is talk about that particular subject on this show. But wrestling and
Politics?
movies, we will talk.
No,
No,
no.
no, that's
Now,
because
if it
on
interferes
the
with our sports, we'll talk about it. But as long as they're over there doing their little crap that I don't care about, they will get none of my attention. No, no, no,
but no,
no.
even if yes, WrestleMania 41 does make its return to Las Vegas for the first time since WrestleMania 9, which if that happens, these two MFers on the screen that you're seeing right now, we will be at Allegiant Stadium like we were for SummerSlam 2021 for both nights. Yeah, I will
Oh,
make sure I
oh,
have. I
I
will
will
make
put in
sure. I will make sure I have enough PTO to make sure
exactly.
I do not. I do not miss night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania 41. But even if I was able to attend WrestleMania 41, which would be very high up there, but for me, nothing will ever replace what I got to see live in February of 1998 at the legendary historic Cow Palace in the city, seeing Sting win the World Heavyweight title. It's one of the greatest moments of my wrestling fandom, being a wrestling fan, because I was highly upset that I missed Super Brawl 7 the year before, which was, of course, the Macho Man joining the NWO and screwing Piper out of the world title. Um, to, but I mean, to see the Stinger at the height of his Crow gimmick and for him to win the world title, I mean,
God,
it
that
still
gimmick
gives me
right
good.
there took off.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
still
didn't
gives me
I
goosebumps
didn't
to
like
this
the
day.
Wolfpack Sting was but he needed to be the Crow. That's where it sold.
Well, I still think his Joker Sting stuff is way underrated. He does not get enough credit for that. I think some of his best promo work was when he was doing the Joker Sting gimmick in TNA, which, I know some people don't watch TNA, but I mean, TNA gave us some good stuff. Now, by
Indeed.
God, if you want to see Ric Flair lose his absolute mind, you need to go on YouTube and you need to type in Jay Lethal and Ric Flair woo off. It is some of the most hilarious. It's the greatest non WWF segment you'll ever see in your life. Just seeing Jay Lethal and Ric Flair
Woo,
go back and forth. And,
woo.
and Ric Flair is like literally sweating through his shirt and throwing shoes in the crowd. But but nevertheless, last thing, and I promise we'll get to sports, but Randall Keith Orton. Um,
Oh,
how many more variations of the RKO are you gonna do? And by God, Austin Theory sold the absolute heck out of it.
the,
But don't get me wrong.
I thought he couldn't do any better to what I saw the Elimination Chamber, where Logan Paul was over there celebrating with the brass knuckles, and out of the camera you just see Randy Orton's legs, and then you see him, him grabbing Logan Paul's head. And you're like,
Yeah. I mean, it won't top what you. Godly. I mean, that one's definitely up there.
Mania
But
in Santa Clara off the top
nothing will
rope.
ever top. Nothing will ever top that. Like, okay, the RKO at WrestleMania 31 with Seth Rollins, and then him catching Evan Bourne when Evan Bourne is doing Airborne and catching him that way. I'm just like, damn it, Randall Keith Orton, how many times are you going to do this to me with this doggone move?
And you already know what I said.
Yeah, yeah,
You know my saying. Every time I
give it
see
to
something that's amazing,
give it to Orton.
that oh my god,
Oh my
oh my
gosh!
god, yeah.
The good old Joey Styles, but nonetheless it's coming to full fruition for WrestleMania 40 with The Rock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Of course,
Which we all
the possible announcement that WrestleMania 41 will possibly be making its long-awaited return to Las Vegas at the Death Star, aka Allegiant Stadium.
Yep.
So I'm greatly thrilled to see how that goes. Okay, now we are going on to sports, but before we talk about the other sports, our beloved baseball team makes a late in the midnight hour signing, which Bob Melvin finally gets his guy. Of course, Matt Chapman, who has spent the last few years in Toronto up north, makes his return back to the Bay Area. Of course, he played for Bob Melvin for 5 seasons when Bob was the manager of the A's, and now Matt Chapman will garnish the third base corner.
Give us
Which
your
now
input on that.
officially,
Tell us how you feel about that. Given that
like
you
I said,
are a Giants fan living down there in Southern California with all that disgusted blue. I don't know how you do it.
It's
You-
Southern
And
Nevada,
you,
not
and
Southern
my auntie
California.
is a Dodger fan. Oh
Well,
no!
well, like I said,
According to my uncle, he better have a good season. That's exactly his words.
Well, I mean, again, you know what you're getting with his glove because he's been a perennial Gold Glove defender at third base for a very long time. So
Yes.
it definitely upgrades the defense at third base. My only
Yes.
question is, are you now going to have a three-headed platoon at first base with J.D. Davis, Wilmer Flores, and
Oh,
Lamont Wade Jr.? That's the one thing that you have to ask. Or will one of
well,
those three guys? Well,
play on the other side of the field as well, though. I think one of those players you might have said can also play second base. They can probably fill in their shortstop. Interchangeable parts. So
Wilmer. Out of those three, Wilmer can play second and first. Um,
yes,
like I said, I mean, with Marco Luciano being the youngest one, he can basically play at shortstop all day long if you want to,
hmm
or if you want to give Luciano the day off. Tyro can also play shortstop, so there's that. Obviously, you still possibly have Casey Schmidt who can play second and short. So I mean, there's
I like Casey. I like Casey.
I do too. So I mean,
Once he gets his
there's
baseball legs and everything in, he'll be all right. I know he had a rough season last year, but he's still
but
kind of slightly reduced.
you saw the potential.
Yes,
You
yes,
saw because I mean when he first got the call up, he was playing fantastically, and then of course they hit
Did he hit a
there's
home
that
run his first at bat? Not his first at bat, but I think in his first game he hit a home run. If I'm not correct.
his first game at home, he hit a home run, and I mean he hit it to the big boy part of the yard, which is no cheapie. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I mean you definitely saw flashes, and then the last game of the season, he had two home runs against the Dodgers. I mean, you could see why the Giants traded for him and got him from the Angels, which is one of the Angels' high prospects. So
Yeah.
he's definitely going to play a part down the road in the future. Is it going to be a
Agreed.
third? We don't know. Is it going to be a shortstop? I don't know. But I mean, for the foreseeable future, it's a 3-year deal worth $54 million for Matt Chapman, to which
Not
I
bad.
think
Not bad.
to which I believe the first 2 years there's an opt out. I don't know if that's a team option or a player option.
So
Hold
basically,
on.
he's on a rhythm. Sounds like.
Yeah, it's a 3-year deal worth $54 million. So the deal has opt outs after the first two seasons. Um, so 20 million first year, 18 million the second year, 16 million the third year, two total opt outs. So I mean, quiet as it's kept, um, Farhan knows that
I
he
agree.
has to make some things happen. So I mean, you sign Jung Hoo Lee, who hit his first homer of the spring yesterday for the Giants, as the Giants got their first Cactus League win for what it's worth. But he hit a home run. Um,
I like
Soler
that.
had a
I
very
like
nice.
that. I like Jung Hoo, man.
Uh,
He looked like he
so
might
so
solidify that leadoff spot.
oh, without question, without question. Then of course
Do do
Soler had a very
do we
nice.
have a miniature Ichiro on our hands?
Well, I mean, all he did in the
Ichiro, because there's only
all he
one.
yeah,
Ichiro.
but
Yeah, that is,
all all he did in the KBO was hit over 300. So obviously, the man can rake. You're not asking him to hit leadoff home runs, but if he doesn't, you'll obviously will
get
take
on
it. But you're
base.
just asking him to get on
Get on
base, set it
base.
up because I mean
Mm-hmm.
now, I mean you really have a formidable lineup of either you're gonna have Chapman bat third or have Soler bat third,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
I mean, or whoever's playing first base, if it's Wade or Flores, have them bat third, Soler bat fourth, Chapman fifth, Conforto sixth, and then
DH.
well, so
I
no,
mean,
Soler's your DH.
oh, okay. Straight up. Okay. Okay. I like that.
Soler's just straight up DH. So
I like
right
that.
now, your outfield configuration as it stands right now, if you were to start the season right now, it'd be Conforto in left, Lee in center, Yaz in right. Now, again, Elliot Ramos and Lu- if Elliot Ramos and Luis Matos continue to have good springs because Matos also homered yesterday, and Matos has put some meat on him in the offseason. He definitely looks different from what he did during his season last year. He's put some bulk
No
on.
shit.
So I mean,
Yeah, no shit.
If Matos and Ramos continue to play well and try to crack this roster, um,
Mhm.
which they're certainly capable of, and they're both young. Obviously, they're both in their Matos is 21, 22, and Ramos is 24. I mean, I
I like the
God bless
young talent.
God, God bless Jazz for what he's done, but it might be time to say bye bye to him, and it might be time to DFA Conforto if those two young guys can join Lee in the outfield. But as it stands, if you're going to pencil it right now, it's going to be Yaz in right, Lee in center, Conforto in left, and then your infield will
Still
consist of
sketch about
Chapman at
Yaz.
Chapman at third, Luciano at shortstop, Tyro at
Mhm.
second, and then your platoon of perhaps J.D. Davis, Flores, and Lamont Wayne at first, and Andrew Bailey behind the plate. Now,
Oh,
like I
you
said,
see, I was about to ask you who you think was going to be behind the plate, and you just answered the
I,
question before I could even ask it.
it's it's
Perfect.
it's
Perfect.
it's Andrew Bailey's job to lose unless something drastically
Did shine,
happens.
did shine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Joey Bart, but eh,
Here's the unfortunate here's the unfortunate thing for Joey Bart. I think there was so much pressure put on him being the heir apparent to Posey.
yep,
Um,
one
and
hundred
I
percent.
I think he burned himself out. Now he's definitely come into great shape this year in the spring, and definitely Bob Melvin has liked what he has seen so far, but it's obviously going to take a lot for him to, I guess, get a roster spot. Not saying overtake Bailey at the starting, because I mean there's just too much. There's too much intangibles that Andrew Bailey has for him not to be the starter, because he commands
I agree.
he commands the pitching staff. He commands the pitching staff tremendously. Number one,
Yep,
obviously
yep.
we have seen the arm, which we always used to say you don't run on Posey. Well, now we're starting to say you don't run on Bailey,
Yeah, he's starting
because
to get that category.
he threw out a lot of percentage. He threw out a lot of runners with a high percentage this last season. Um,
It was a
he
rocket
was
of an
decent with
arm.
the bat. Obviously, through time, he'll get better swinging it. Being the fact that he is a switch hitter, um,
Yes,
and that it's very rare that you
that also
find
helped.
switch hitting catchers that can do that.
It's definitely
Um,
rare.
but again, um, it all depends. Okay, so right now, Wynn and Tristan Beck, they're the two guys holding down the fort until Robbie Ray and Alex Cobb get back. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, both guys are kind of injured. But if those five guys can hold if those two can hold the fort down until Robbie Ray and Cobb get back, like I said, your starting five of Harrison, Webb, Hicks, Cobb, and Robbie Ray can do some things, because we know who we got to close it. We got 75 in the bullpen, ready to shut it down with this fastball slider combination.
And I think he might have added another pitch to his arsenal too, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
well, well. Brian Price is a very good pitching coach, a longtime pitching coach, and I'm
Yes,
pretty sure he added
yes,
something to the repertoire of Camilo Duvall.
yes.
But the one thing veterans are happy about is the presence that Bob Melvin has brought, which that was to be expected, because, like I said, Bob Melvin has been doing this for a
Yeah,
long time,
I mean, he was
and
good with the
he's been
aces. He was good with
yeah.
the
Well, I mean,
Padres.
he's been successful
He'll get your team to the playoffs. I,
mainly
I don't.
everywhere he's gone.
I don't expect the Giants to probably get there this year, but they'll be competitive. Maybe they'll give us that
Well,
year where they wasn't going to give us nothing, and all they did was win 105 games. So maybe I'm not going to think Bob Melvin's going to win 100 games, but I believe he'll have this team competitive. I mean, we
like
already
I
know
said,
that bullshit team is trying to buy another championship.
a few shows ago, the Giants in 2023 won 79 games,
Mm, mm. Uh,
and and
I
last
agree.
year's
I agree.
eh,
It is time to move on from Yas. That's just my.
well, like I said, if Matos and Ramos continue to play well in the spring, it might be time to say bye bye to Conforto or possibly Mike Strips again. Again, Mike's been a good soldier. He has played everywhere. Anything they've been asking him to do, he's done. I mean, by far in the 2020 season, he was the best player on the team. Um, I mean, Yaz has had some moments, but again, like I said, well, one quick, well, again, well, I mean, that's a good question. If somehow Pablo finds his way on the team, um, there's a, I
And he
don't know
looks
because
good. He looks
I mean,
good. We can't call him the
Pablo
panda no more.
is
He don't look like the panda. He's slim. He's slim. What can we call him now? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Oh, you're not wrong with that, huh?
well, I'm not
He
using the
did
youth as
win
an
with the
excuse
A's.
because
I was gonna say he won with the A's though. And what did he have with the A's? You know they don't spend money down there.
no, they don't. But
And like
here's
you
my
just
thing.
said, you want the old Matt Chapman that was with the A's, so maybe we'll get
Well, my
that.
thing, well, my thing is this, and I've been very adamant on this show about the Giants playing Ramos and playing Matos, but not just.
Yes, yeah.
Here's what would happen. Here's what happened. Like Ramos would be called up, might play a game, might play the game, might play when he gets there, and then doesn't play for the next 4 or 5 games.
Right.
How you expect to see? How do you expect to see what he has if you're not playing him? Call him PD Pablo. Oh wow, good grief. Um,
That's funny.
but I mean, what? I mean, Matos got more playing time obviously last year than Ramos, even though Ramos was tearing it up in AAA last season. I still believe in Ramos's talent. The kid is only 24 years old, and he
Mm,
has been playing well in winter ball this winter, mashing the ball. Like I said, I
hmm
would really like to see him get a full fledged shot to try to win one of these outfield jobs. And don't get me wrong, I like Michael Conforto. Liked him since he was a Met. Had some good years with the Mets, but he is 31, 32, and he's coming off an injury. I love Yaz. Yaz has been durable, but he's getting up there in age also. Like, I am okay if they have a Ramos in the Ramos and Matos in the corners, and you have Lee in left field. That's a lot of speed and athleticism you have in the outfield. You can live with their growing pains because that's just what young
hmm
players are going to do. Because I mean, if they're if they're if you're going to give Luciano all this pull to basically get acclimated at shortstop, then why can you not do the same thing with Ramos and Matos playing in the corner outfields? Because I mean, they both can play left field, they both can play right field. They're almost interchangeable. But again, how can you see what you have with young talent if you don't give them at bats? Because what's the one thing about baseball, and this is just very true in baseball, once you got a rhythm going, the one thing you don't want to have is days off because it messes up your rhythm, it messes up your timing, it messes up
Yep.
everything. That's why
Yep.
that's why some people can't stand the that's why some people don't like the All-Star break because they're in such a groove and then you take those
Oh,
3 days off and then all of a
talk
sudden
about our
you're
talk about the
and then you're in a
Giants that one
slump.
year where they were kicking ass before the All Star break, and then Sean Estes got whooped on in the All Star game, and then we came back and the season went to shit. So yeah, I know about that.
But nonetheless, I mean, like I said, it's bottom level one of them, and the
Well,
Giants
it's a
are
new
still
team.
in.
I think it's a new.
And like I said, the Giants won 79 games last year, and
Now
last year's And
But not bad.
last year's, but here, and here's what people forget: the Giants were 15 games over 500.
Hell, they was winning the division for about a month.
Yes, they were. And then that series against the A's when they got swept, and that's when it started going downhill.
Yep.
Now I will say this: the Diamondbacks won 84 games and won the pennant last season. So you mean to tell me, or not mean to tell me, but I can promise you, Bob Melvin can manage to get 5 more wins to get to 84 if last
Oh
year's
yeah.
wild card contention to get into the playoffs was 84 wins. Bob Melvin is a good enough manager to get to manage you to 85 win, to 84,
Well,
85
hell, if
wins.
he stay healthy, the way he manages, hell, they can get 90.
And not to mention, you have a former major leaguer and a well a well a good reputation in Pat Burrell being the hitting coach. And Pat Burrell has seen a lot of these young Giants anyway during his time as a scout for the Giants. So,
Mm-hmm.
and plus, Pat Burrell's not going to teach about launch angle and all this sabermetrics analytics crap that I love oh so much. Um, he's going to
Baseball.
teach them how
Baseball.
to hit a ball. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, then you got a guy who was a perennial Gold Glove winner, who played a very good third base. You're going to have Matt Williams with that infield, getting them into shape. I'll say this: the Giants will play a lot better defense than they did last season. That's for doggone
Agreed.
sure. With the
Agreed.
with the people that Bob Melvin has on his staff to coach this team. Now,
Yeah.
I will say I appreciate Bob Melvin for keeping Alyssa Nacken on the staff. Kudos to him for doing that. Um, I mean, because a lot of new managers want to bring their own staff, but Bo Mel decided to keep Alyssa on the staff, which is very good. Um, and of course, Alyssa is about to have their first child, so again, congratulations to Alyssa Nacken for doing that. But I mean, we have now officially 26 days until opening day, when the Giants open up the season in San Diego against the San Diego Fathers, and then of course they come and play the Dodgers in Los Angeles
Mhm.
against the Dodgers to start the season in 2024. As looks like my partner has some buffering issues as his screen. Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my screen or his screen.
Well, we're both
Something is
having weather
going on.
issues.
Okay, well, it looks like I'm frozen on one end. So here we go with technology being technology. But the
Yeah,
hey, I don't know
we're both having
because
weather issues. This is
I
crazy.
don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Issues. This is crazy.
I don't know. Okay, I think I'm back.
I think you
Okay,
are.
okay. So, well, like I said, we've been dealing with these. I have been dealing with these high winds all week here in Vegas, and it has played a part in internet issues because I know last week we had these high winds. It literally gave my area an outage of internet because of these ridiculous winds. So we
Yes.
apologize. But anyhow, folks, there's been a certain basketball team that has gone 13-3 in their last 16 games. They've won 8 straight on the road, including last night's win up north in Toronto. And oh, by the way, since Draymond Green came off a suspension, the team has been 14-6. And that team is the Golden State Warriors. So for those that have almost tried to write them off, in the
Like
infamous
the,
words, in the infamous words of the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Um, and which, by the way, the Warriors are climbing up in the standings in the Western Conference as they're
Passed
now
that team
trying to
down
play
there
their way.
They passed up that team down there in LA. How's that going for you, huh? Huh? Just last week,
So the
Big
Warriors
Perk
get a big.
won't
So the
even make the
Warriors get a
play.
big win. Warriors get the win in Toronto, 120-105. As Jonathan Kuminga again has another 20-point game. He had 24. Curry had 25 to lead the way. Uh, Clay was scoreless in the first half, but got off in the second half and scored 14, all of his 14 points in the second half. Chris Paul had 13 off the bench. And Moses Moody, again, who has been playing well since being put in the starting lineup, as Andrew Wiggins is trying to find himself again with his personal issues, which we hope he's okay. But Moody, again, was solid. He had 17 in 32 minutes. And I'm just telling you, folks, we're not saying the Warriors are going to go to the finals and win the title. That's not what we're
Oh,
saying. That's not
but
what we're
they wrote
saying.
them off. They said they weren't going to even make the play-in tournament. This is what they've been saying about a team that is just 2 years removed of winning a championship.
2 years.
Just 2 years removed from winning a
I can
championship.
I can understand if it was 5. I can understand what it was 10, but we're talking about two.
Where they
Two.
didn't even expect them to win that championship.
No.
I just
No.
continue, but hey, continue to hate, continue to hate. Hey, hold on, I'm gonna have to put it up again, like my cousin said. Shout out to the haters.
Mainly one Charles Barkley. Keep just saying
Hey, what did I text you?
keep
What did
guarant
I text you?
keep
Soon as you
guaranteeing
said that.
keep guaranteeing that they're going to lose. Keep saying I guarantee. Keep saying that, Chuck.
Hey, the moment he said that, I texted you. Said, "Yep, the Warriors winning this game." And wait, Curry started off what 4 for 4, 3 for 3, or 4 for 4 behind the 3 point line in the first 15, the first 5 minutes of the game.
But now but now we know why Wardell's going off. He
Oh
was
yeah,
getting
well,
some he was
congrats.
getting some good luck from Aisha, and Aisha said we was having as much baby as you got,
Let me follow.
which is
Hey,
Curry baby number 4 is in the Aisha Curry oven.
so don't be shocked if the Warriors win another championship. And you're completely right there, Dugan. I
Well,
don't disagree with
I think in addition to that, Steve, he is finally letting Kaminga and Moody play to their skills
that.
like
I
they
say
are with
commit.
Brent.
I don't know about Moody yet. The book is still
Well,
open. He's only
the last 2 games Moody has Kerr's let Moody play is my point. The last 2 games. Hey, you're not. Hey, you. Hey. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. But it seems like the mix is finally coming together for the Warriors, and as we say, starting to come together. Pepper starting to come together. Now,
well.
Sunday is Sunday is going to be fun to watch.
Oh,
Sunday is
I'll
going
be
to
at
be
work.
super fun because the Warriors will make their trip to the Parquet floor to take on the team with the best record in the NBA, who won their 10th straight game and absolutely smacked the heck out of the Dallas Mavericks. And Bostonians let one Kyrie Irving know how they felt in Boston, Massachusetts,
Boy,
in
did
their own Bostonian way without
hmm
throwing Dunkin' Donuts onto the court on the parquet floor.
I really
Um,
don't like that organization or their fan base at all.
138 to 110 was the final score, despite the fact that Luca got out of bed and got another one
I told you.
to the atonement
The
of
Joker got telekinesis, man. They just be like, you know what? You gonna do it? I'm gonna do it. In their sleep. They
in
just
a
be
losing cause.
in their Orange Cassidy.
In a losing cause, Luka Doncic had 37 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, shot 14 of 25 from the floor. Although it
Talk
was
about
not
it.
enough as again, yeah. I mean, and I mean Dallas put up 110 points, but the Celtics put up 138 to where it was very much balanced scoring from the starting five of the Celtics. As Tatum had 32, Porzingis had 24, Holiday had 11, White had 13, Brown had 25, Horford had 12 off the bench, Pritchard had 10 off the bench. But Sunday is going to be fun as the Warriors make their yearly trip to the parquet floor to take on the Celtics. That will be fun. Cavaliers beat the Cavaliers beat the Pistons 110 to 100.
Who's
As
not beating
Garland had 29 to lead Cleveland. Oh my goodness. Trailblazers beat the Grizzlies 122 to 92. Pelicans beat the Pacers 129-102.
Hey, Halliburton had a shitty night. He could find. Hey, he couldn't throw a rock in the ocean if he tried.
Well, Mama said there'll be days like this. There'll be days like this. Mama said.
Man.
Bucks beat the Bulls 1997. The Clippers put up 140 on Wizards, although it cost them Russell Westbrook, who fractured his hand. He's going to be out for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. The Winds are doing it again. And the Kings go into Minnesota and in overtime beat the team with the best record in the West 124 to 120.
Anthony Anderson had to take off his I don't know if it's his girlfriend or wife. Well, his significant other was delivering
birth. She was giving birth.
He left in the middle of the game to go be a part of that. So that changed.
Probably that probably explains why he shot 2 for 11 in the game.
Indeed.
As he had 11, McDaniels had 26, Gobert had 16, Towns had 19, Conley had 14, Reed had 18 off the bench. But the story of the game between the Kings and the T-Wolves was Malik Monk going apeshit crazy as he scored 39 off the bench, shooting 16 of 29 from the floor, 5 of 8 from three-point range. Have yourself an evening, Mr. Monk.
Oh, what got into him?
I don't know, but apparently he must have purified himself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka and came up with 39 of those buckets. And Domantas Sabonis, he was 2 assists shy of messing around and joining his fellow Europeans in Sabonis.
So he woke up before the dream. He woke up before the ending of the dream. That's all it was. You know, he was part of the telekinesis, but he might have to go piss or something. You know.
Oh my. Sabonis had 21 and 15 with the 8 assists. Barnes had 14. Murray had 17. Herter had 8. As again, De'Aaron Fox did not play, but the Kings get a huge win, getting their 34th win of the season over the T-Wolves.
Not really, but nice.
What? Oh God! Oh, you gotta love it. But nonetheless, I did say let's start the party early, and we're going to do that again now.
Oh, it's Philly time.
It is time for
It's time to listen to Elton John.
It's time for Sir Elton to make his appearance on the show as we do a little bit of Philadelphia Freedom. As the Sixers get back on the track, on the winning track, as they beat the Hornets 121 to 14.
One game out of the 4
As the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer takes his place. The remastered version of Philadelphia Freedom, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. It would be nice to get the MVP back. I don't want to rush him back, but it would be nice. But you know what, though? I'm glad that they're resting him, though. Because they're only 1 game out of 4, which the Knicks hold that.
The Knicks hold the 4 seed as the Sixers remain in the 5 seed. I mean, they were at the 6 seed for a minute, but now they are trying to push their way back upwards into the top 4 slots.
Just wait till them 40 points a game come back in there. Just wait. Just wait. And wait. Tobias Harris had 31 points last night. Wow.
Well,
But see,
the thing
but see
is,
now he'll have that 31 points, and then he'll fucking disappear for a while.
well, ooh, okay. He had 31 points, but I mean, 31 points, but shooting the ball efficiently. Man shot 13 of 19 from the floor and 5 of 8 from threes. But
Okay.
Maxi led the way with 33 for Philadelphia, but he Hill at 13. Lowry at 15. Bump.
I like those two pickups though. More Kyle Lowry more than I like Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is like going to be the shooter, but Kyle Lowry is what they tried to get out of Tucker. Kyle Lowry will be that Tucker that can shoot can be consistent with the three and with the defense. So I do like bringing Kyle Lowry home. Um, but Buddy Hield can get streaky. But this team would be different once Embiid get back. Embiid to set up everybody. Embiid to start set up Lowry. Embiid to set up Hield. And that pick and roll with Maxi and start setting up everybody. So they just got to hold the fort down to the big fella get back. He's close. He's close.
You're not wrong on that. You're not
And I
wrong.
don't care that you said the Hornets are a JV team. They put on their jerseys just like everybody else in the association, and they get on the court and play basketball. It would be a different story if they went out there and beat the Sixers, which they were winning at halftime. So you still got to play the game.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So as we go to the current up to date standings in the association, um, in conference play, obviously Boston is still holding on to the top seed with a 47-12 record. Cleveland still in the 2 slot. Cavaliers a half a game or one game better in the loss column than Milwaukee. Knicks on the 4 seed. Philly is the 5, or Orlando's the 6. And so far, it's the Heat, Pacers, Steve's beloved Chicago Bulls, and the Atlanta Hawks currently in the play-in spot in the Eastern Conference. That's where they're at right now. As my mom tries to sneak in and do something, I don't know. But nonetheless, in the West, it is Minnesota at 1 seed, Oklahoma City at 2, half a game back. Denver 1 game back of the top seed, and the Clippers ring in the 4 seed. Phoenix at the 5. Pelicans still holding on to the 6 seed, but the Kings, the Mavericks, and the Warriors are right there. All can jump in. Okay, now Steve, who are you giving the thumbs down to? Are you giving the thumbs down to your beloved Bulls? I'm just trying to clarify, Steve. That's all I'm trying to do. As we wait for Steve to tell us exactly what he's trying to do here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You know what, Dugan? Well, hold that thought, Steve. Hold that thought, because I really have a question to ask you, Steve. But nonetheless, we are officially 2 weeks away, or actually, if you want to be technical, we are 12 days away from a legal tampering beginning, which is NFL
Bullshit.
free
They been
agency.
tampering already.
I said legal tampering.
Who gives a shit?
I said legal.
Whatever. That's why I still said bullshit. They're tampering right now. They're all up in the combine. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if trades has already been made, deals been made. You can talk to agents. The NFL is full of shit. They can start free agency once they say they start at the combine. That's what they should do. Start free agency at the combine. Kill 2 birds at 1 stone. Hell.
Mizzle for commissioner.
That will never happen because football will be in a whole total different direction. We're going back to when me and you were kids watching football. If I was commissioner, that's how these fools are gonna play football. We ain't gonna be having this little crybaby shit. The quarterback get touched. No, 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 no. You got on shoulder pads, a helmet, and thigh pads, or whatever the pads you want to wear. Your ass can get hit like a wide receiver and running back. Fuck that. We going back to Ray Nitschke days.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said
That's
you said Ray Nitschke. Good Lord, God
yeah.
help us. Oh my
Hitting,
God.
hitting.
He said all quarterbacks must go down and must go down hard.
And I must say this: I said Nitschke, but I also must say Deacon Jones style.
Oh, the head slap.
You damn
Okay,
right.
okay, we're giving people too much history. Stop it.
We're playing football.
Hold on, hold on. For those that don't know, David Deacon Jones was the inventor of the head slap, and many
Yes.
people believe he would be the all time career sacks leader. But they didn't start keeping sacks as a stat till I want to say the mid to late '60s, if I'm not wrong.
Could be
Because
right.
back in those days, they did not keep sacks as a
Just look up Deacon Jones Rams.
that too.
Just
Yeah,
look up Deacon Jones Rams, and then
part
I gotta
part
say this.
part of the fearsome foursome. But
Yeah.
yes, indeed. So I mean, there it is. But hey, I mean, I digress. But it is a Pisces season for all you Pisces out there. Of course, it's definitely Mom's birthday month, and of course, later on this month, my guy will be celebrating another year of wooded bliss as he looks so happy on his face. uh, the facial expressions is just priceless, ladies and gentlemen, if you will.
No, I can't.
Boy,
Well, like I said, it's this. We just put pen to paper, and maybe 3 years, but Lord have mercy, it seems like it's been a decade plus.
I see Unc is clowning Lowry, talking about he only take a charge
No, whatever.
and get people in foul trouble.
We'll take it. We'll take it. And he'll occasionally make that clutch three
well,
pointer when
like
you need it. So I'll take it.
well, like Jesse the Body Ventura said, you win any way you can. That's how you do that. That's for sure. But
And
earlier this evening, I was privileged to be a part of the All Pro Jaffos with Country K and JP. Shout out to those guys. And of course, if you have not subscribed to their page, please do. And we were talking about the combine and whatnot, and how there is a lot of defensive linemen and a lot of defensive players running a lot of fast 40 times
check out
at
that
this
guy from
particular
Florida State, man. Huh? What do you think about that?
he was pretty he was pretty good running the 40. And of course all the talk has been about Caleb Williams not giving medical records, not going to
He wasn't
play.
the only one. See, that's the thing. He wasn't the
No,
only one.
he's not. He's not the only one. But because the media, as JP likes to say, and he's not wrong on that, but because the media wants to put him up there on this pedestal, being he's the top quarterback prospect in the draft. But again, as JP's pointed out, as I've pointed out, um, I've watched the film. Um, because he probably doesn't want to.
Well,
Because he pop.
this is what he has come out and said. He's only going to give out his medicals to the teams that he goes and visit, which that's his right.
Correct.
That's it. That's his right to give. So, but to me, it's what are you hiding?
That's true too. That's
What
true
what what
too.
what are you hiding?
That's
Now
very true.
I get why you don't want to throw because you could. There's a slight chance that you can get hurt at the combine, and that messes up your pro day. That messes up your draft stock. And plus, your pro day is more bigger because all eyes on you. But
Hmm.
I like what Jaden Daniels said. The reason why he's not thrown at the combine. Did you hear the reason why?
No, what do you say?
Well, he wants to do it for his pro day, so he also helps out his teammates that are going to go pro or that might go undrafted. It exposes them as well because he has to throw to them. The attention, another attention is going to be on him, but other scouts can look at him. So
No, there you go. I mean, that's a very good point. That's a very good analogy. Because again, I mean, your pro day is where you want to have your best day anyway, because that's when all 32 teams, or most
right,
of the 32 teams, just happen to be there, and there you got that chance. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us again, a very familiar face of the program. We like to call him our basketball insider, um, as he is sitting calmly in his living room. Our good friend and supporter of the show, the one, the only, the great Mr. Steve Dugan, back on the show. Welcome, good sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's up on the late night tip? It's rare that I'm up at 1:30 in the morning.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, no. Well,
So
real quickly before we call it a night, though. So, why were you giving your thumbs down to your beloved Bulls? So I wanted you to come on and give that analogy as to why, real quick.
Because just like before, the Bulls are in like no man's land. Like you're not good enough to do anything in the playoff, play in, whatever it is. There's nothing there. But you're not bad enough to suck to get some high draft picks. It's like you got to pick a course. Let go of people and suck to get a high draft pick, or well, I can't even say try to do good to. There's nothing you can do. Zach Levine is a number two, number three, getting paid number one money. Lonzo
mm.
Ball, as much as I love him, it'd be nice. It,
You ever gonna play
let's just
again?
hope he. Let's just hope he can play again. There's nothing. Demar Rosen, I appreciate what you did. You still have the game of the 2000s, and it's appreciated, and somebody's gonna do something with that. You're gonna leave us. Crucial, I would love to keep you. You're gonna have value somewhere else. Andre Drummond, hey, you're doing stuff I ain't never seen before. 26, 25, 40 rebounds. Shit doesn't matter because it's not doing it. Vucevic, I don't know why we signed you back again, but you're in no man's land where you're not good enough to make any threat or challenge, but you're not sucking enough to be like give us some draft picks. Like it's just no man's land. And until they figure out what they want to do, which they don't want to do because they want to fill in the seats, you're stuck. It's like, and we've been stuck like this since Derrick Rose. Just tear it
Ooh.
down and stop paying number twos, number three, number one money because you're just trying to get somebody and hope you can build around. Zach Levine, look at what your boy in your dunk contest, Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon figured out his role, and he is basically a number three, number four scorer. And it's great. And Zach Levine, you're the third option. You will be a great third option for whatever franchise. But you're not a number one. You have proven that. You're not the number one. But we're paying you like number one, so nobody's gonna take your contract. So we're stuck with you because we just had to have somebody. We're just stuck for the next couple of years.
Okay, EJ Wizzle, to answer your question, yes, he is, because he's a big North Carolina Tar Heels fan and he loves Michael Jordan. That's why he loves the Bulls. And of course, Steve has been out here in California forever, so he's a Niner fan. So yes, he likes the Bulls and the Niners. Yes, that was from one of our listeners
I'm sorry,
because
I don't.
he was basically saying it'll come on the screen in a second. He was like, wait a minute, if it'll show, if technology will stop being a pain in the ass. There it is.
Oh,
That was
yes, 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 yes. I'll answer. Yeah, come on, man. I'm the '90s. Tar Heels, Jordan, everything. I'm a Bulls fan, and then I be honest, I've been a Niners fan longer than I've been a Bulls fan. I got sucked into the 49ers at an early age of 88, 87 when I was living in Germany and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been a Niner fan longer than I've been a Bulls fan. So it's called you go with your team. As much as I like Mike and Scott, I'm not one of those player chasers because my favorite player of all time is Mike, Shaq, Oscar Robertson. But I'm going with my Bulls. Now my
The
backup
big
team is
O.
the Lakers, and
The big O.
oh
Wow.
yeah, if you ever yeah, because if you ever read his book and realize how like what he did to the game, when you average a triple double, and I'm not talking about Westbrook's official unofficial triple, when you got some real triple doubles and you really see how that impacts the game, oh, you got to give that man love. And that man was doing this in the 1960s and everything. Triple
You're
doubles
right.
back
You're
then
right.
really meant something.
You're right. You are absolutely
You
right.
know, I heard y'all earlier, and I'm not knocking Luca. Luca's getting his. Wemby, I mean, triple doubles meant something back then, and now the way the game is, anybody can get triple doubles, and it's it's there, and it's still a impressive feat. Even I knocked Westbrook, but I still gotta give him credit doing it for a whole season. Like if you really know the game, how that really impacts it, that's an impressive feat to be
Mhm.
averaging triple doubles. It
Mhm.
changes so much.
Yep.
I will still say Wimba's triple double with the way he did it with blocks is still the most impressive triple double this season by
Agree.
far. Um, because I
On
mean
this,
it's very rare you get 10 blocks in the season. So Steve, real quickly before we fade out and all go take naps because we all do work and do adult things. Um, how do you see this playoff chase upcoming in the association as we are officially 1 month away from the playoffs starting in the association?
Well, I would say this. It's back to the early 2000 where the West is totally dominant and there's one or two teams in the East. But it's really funny because back in the days, like there was maybe a 3 game separation from 1 to 8, where now the top 4 seeds of the West, they're all going to be vying. Then there's a middle ground, and then there's, as y'all said, the play-in teams. I heard y'all earlier about the Warriors. I'm glad Warriors doing their thing. Like I put in a comment, they finally found that mix where you got the youth and the veteran. Clay, like you said, Clay, take on your Manu Ginobili. Be that six man. Be that person. It's okay. I
Wiggins
don't know how
messed
that's going to look on contract time, but
Wiggins
you know,
disappearing
the,
that whole strategy up.
yeah, I don't know because I heard he taking
Wiggins,
more
you
personal
know
time
Wiggins,
and
and that got Clay to come off the bench. So now with Wiggins going through it, just like 2 seasons ago, that's going to
yeah,
get
I
Clay
mean,
there. So Clay can't embrace that role like he really wants to because it's probably going to put him back in the starting lineup.
yeah, I mean, but right now, I mean, I'll be real. Boston, I was wanting to see what Porzingis do, and he's living up to the hype. Right now, if I said I wanted to see some, I want to see Boston and Denver. I want to see how that goes. Um, I Minnesota. Hey, we'll see what happens with you guys. Okay, OKC, you're coming and you might make it, but I want to see Boston and Denver right now.
I hate that team.
That would be
I
a
know you
unique
do. I
that
know.
that
That's
would
that
be
Philly love.
that would be a unique finals matchup. But my question is this, and I'm glad you brought up the two young teams in Minnesota and OKC because I mean obviously they're both having fine regular seasons, but will the pressure of those two being the 1 and 2 seeds will that get to them in the playoffs to where a team like Denver that has proven that has gotten there, basically it's to the point to where Denver necessarily doesn't need to be the number 1 seed to win to possibly go back to back.
Mm.
I will say this: it's going to hit OKC more than Minnesota. As much as we say Minnesota as a team hasn't felt that pressure, but they got players on there that have some playoff experience. No matter what we want to say, Rudy has been to the second, third round. Mike Conley has been in that round. Cat, maybe not. Ant, maybe not. But you got players on there that could kind of guide Minnesota. Oklahoma City, they don't. Even though they just got a lot of talent that can possibly do it. So OKC, you getting your run in. We'll see what happens, but this might be your starting point to getting there. I'm Minnesota has a chance, but I also feel like Denver knows what they can do, and I'm not gonna say Denver's gonna run away with it. Denver's gonna get challenged. Minnesota might even challenge them, but yeah, that experience, knowing what to do, what Denver's got to go through and see it at final, they know what they got to do. Now, it's also matchups and everything else because, like I said, at the bottom, you like we said, you got your Warriors, you got your Lakers, you got Phoenix. Whoever is the one seed, they're gonna have a challenge. Your two seeds are gonna have a challenge. It is because these veteran teams that were supposed to be something are now battling each other out, and they're gonna have some heart. Whoever faces Phoenix, unless Phoenix is just injured because they're all soft tissue, you got a lot of work to do.
Well, that's mainly
And let's just say
that's
if
mainly been
Phoenix,
Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has been the one
man,
something because I mean it's like he's injured
yeah,
again.
but it's gonna start hitting KD a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna hit KD eventually. Devin Booker's gonna miss some game. Don't like I said, Phoenix and Minnesota. Minnesota should win that with their size, but if you don't play it right, the Phoenix can get you on that. You know that Warriors. Yeah, your size can get it, but if we start out shooting you and bam, 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 can you handle that? So, but it's gonna be a challenge. Whatever the final 8 teams are in the West,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna have it easy. The only team that you might want to look to, and I shouldn't even say it. Hey, you go after Sacramento, depending on what team you are, you might get a chance. But even then, Sacramento might turn it around and start figuring out some stuff. So once again, this is back to the early 2000 where nobody in the West is safe. Everybody's gonna have a challenge. They're gonna
Mhm.
beat each other up, and then when it comes down to the NBA final, whoever survives out of it, unless it's Boston, they're gonna look at us like, "No, we've been battle tested. Ain't nobody coming out of that." Because really, if you are talking about Philly, look, if you want to be honest, I tell you now, you might as well just shut Joe Embiid down. Bring him back for what? I mean,
Mm.
I get it. You got to try it. Milwaukee, let's see what happens. I hear Dame is like everybody's
Games.
telling Dame, you
They better not go up 3 games.
Dame, you that dude. Yeah, I can't. Miami just is Miami. They got that heat culture. I can't say
Yep.
anything about them.
Yep.
Uh,
You already got that.
and what the Knicks, somebody gonna beat them. I mean, the Knicks are there. They're
Beat themselves before somebody else beat them.
yeah. Knicks and Cavs are gonna beat each other up. So like I said, Boston's the only team I could see that could kind of cut him out. And Boston's the only one that I could feel like has a chance against the West. I don't even think Milwaukee has a chance against the West.
I
There
agree.
is nothing else.
I agree, but but I agree with you. I think if there's one team the Celtics don't want to see in the East, it is that team that plays in Miami, Florida.
Yep. It's already been shown. It's already been shown. I mean, repeat.
I, and
They
I
can't
mean,
There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say.
there's not because again, I go back to what Stephen A. Smith said on First Take last year when I trust Eric Spoelstra. I just do.
Yep.
I just do.
Those are facts.
Pat Riley, all of them.
Oh yes.
You just trust that whole organization
Yes.
because they
Yes.
believe, and Jimmy Butler is going to do whatever it takes to get
Yes.
there.
And that team follows that man's lead. If he's going all out, the rest of that team is right
I don't care.
there.
I don't care what seat they get. If they get in the playoffs, you be scared. You should be
They proved it last year. They
Yes.
proved it after
Yes.
my team almost had them, and
I'm
then
saying.
they made. I mean, they
Exactly what I'm saying.
Gentlemen, they lost the first game of the play-in game and
And went on
went
the run.
to the finals.
I ain't gotta say nothing else.
Like, who does that other than the Miami Heat?
That's just one team you want to be scared of, no matter who you are.
Yeah. Because I mean, if I'm Boston and I see Miami, you're like,
Nope.
again,
Yep.
no, I don't want that smoke. But nonetheless, thank you to our good friend, as always, Steve Dogan, for coming in real quick to check us out and coming in while we do this rapid fire show, as it is nap time for a lot of us. But don't. Thanks to our.
yeah, the music's taking over.
Yeah, well, the Super Dope Beat Makers at it again, adding this new beat to our closeout show. Our special thanks to Zordok, a.k.a. the Super Dope Beat Maker, a.k.a. my nephew, his son, Steve's nephew, the one, the only, doing what he does best. As we are approaching show number 170, as a lot of things happening in March. Of course, March Madness to kick off or to close the NCAA season. Of course, all the tournaments starting this week. The Pac-12 tournament, the Big West tournament, and the Mountain West out here in Vegas. And I'm definitely going to try to go to one of those tournaments while they're out here. Oh, and of course, the West Coast Conference tournament is also out here in Vegas with Gonzaga, San Francisco, and St. Mary's. Definitely want to check that out. Don't forget, fans, Easter is this month. The first time it has been in March in a long time. Of course, opening day for Major League Baseball. Of course, the UFL, the merging together of the XFL and USFL, that starts later on this month also. And for those that are Muslim, Ramadan is starting also this month. So wherever you may be safe. Be safe, be in good health, of course, free agency. But of course, come check out your boys here on the Mizzle and Dub Show. And as we continue the road to WrestleMania and continue the road to more sports. But nonetheless, as always, special thanks to Steve and to all of our guests that chimed in. And as always, it's 5 o'clock some damn where. And you've been watching the Mizzle and Dub Show. You guys take care of yourself and each other. Be well, be safe this weekend. God bless y'all. And you've been watching the Mizzle and Dub Show.